Well, the topic of the nation's future is front and centre in the aftermath of the election, but another ongoing national debate reared its head again on the weekend. The royal family, the last bastion of all that's good and great in the empire. But after a groundswell of support for becoming a republic in the 90s, latest research shows Aussie passion for cutting the apron strings is at a 16-year low. While many of the big issues were ignored through the now deadlocked election, both leaders managed to dredge up the republic.
This Republican cause has been with us for a long time. I am far from certain that, at least in our lifetimes, there's likely to be any significant change.
I think the appropriate time for this nation to move to being a republic is when we see the monarch change.
And those surveyed agree. When the Queen steps down from the throne, a move to a republic may well be back in favour. So while we can't manage to elect a government, should we just cut to the chase, sack the Queen and put this guy in charge instead?
But when I wear the Akubra hat, I'm an idiot.
For his thoughts, we cross to the former head of Australians for a Constitutional Monarchy, Professor David Flint. Professor, thanks for joining us on the 7pm project. Now, we were pretty keen for a republic about 10 years ago. Why do you think the support is now at an all-time low?
Well, I think the Republicans were given a very fair chance in 1999, and it cost a lot of money. They were allowed to choose the model. We had the vote. It went down in all states and 72% of electorates. I think since then the Republicans have lost their way. They haven't been able to work out what they want in terms of a new model and in terms of a new flag. It cost a lot of money back in 1999, and this idea that you keep on voting until you get it right doesn't appeal to the Australian people because they never change their minds.
Professor Flint, it's a really interesting time to have this debate, isn't it, given that we could be headed, I stress could be headed, for a constitutional crisis within a couple of weeks.
Indeed. The constitutional conventions work very well. It just shows you what a sophisticated constitutional system we have, in that it allows the emergence of a new government without rioting in the streets and without violence. But there will be occasions, possible occasions, pretty unlikely I think, that the Governor-General may have to exercise her reserve powers.
Professor, the idea, though, of a ruling class is a very old world and some say dated concept. Do you think maybe it's inevitable that one day we will become a republic?
Well, I don't think so. I think the only things that are inevitable are death and taxes. Of the 7 oldest continuing democracies in the world, 5 are constitutional monarchies, 4 of which have Elizabeth as their sovereign. And all of the constitutional monarchies in the United Nations Human Development Index are clustered towards the top. Constitutional monarchy is a pretty sophisticated form of government, which may seem odd, but it works very well.
Now, mate, well, look, I think we're all used to the Queen, and we wouldn't mind William being king, but can't we just bypass Charles? He's really not wanted, is he?
I think Charles has been maligned somewhat. You know, every year he raises over $250 million for charity. I do think he gets a bad press. There's no guarantee that he will survive the Queen. He's not a young man. And it may well be that William may well be the king for all we know.
Watch this space. Thank you so much, Professor David Flint, for talking to us.
Thank you.
I've got to say, I would really miss a royal toe-sucking scandal.
Really?
Remember Fergie?
I'm sure it can still be arranged for the right price. I'm sure even if we become a republic, $20 you could get Fergie to do that again.
How did we know when we crossed to Professor Flint he wasn't going to say, "Oh, g'day, how you going?" How do we know he's going to sound like a bloke with a plum in his mouth?
He's a good guy. But I think we're perfectly represented right now. I mean, we want a republic, we can't be bothered, so that's about right.
My favourite part was Dave Hughes, you calling him mate.
Yeah, I'd love to hang out with him and go to the footy.
I'm going to take a break right now, though. After that, Queen Kitty Flanagan